Through every battle, through every heartbreak, through every circumstance, I believe that you are my fortress, that you are my portion, you are my hiding place. I believe you are the way, the truth, you are the light. So I believe that you are the way, the truth, the light. I believe that through every blessing, through every promise, through every breath I take, I believe that you are providing, you are protecting, you are the one I love. Yes, you are. And I believe that you are the way, yes, you are the truth, the light. I believe that you are the way, the truth, the light. I believe that you are. It's a new horizon, and I'm set on you to meet me here today. Mercies that I knew yet, all my fears and doubts, they can all come to, because they can't stay long when I'm here with you, yeah. It's a new horizon, and I'm set on you, and you meet me here today. Mercies I knew, oh, all my fears and doubts, they can all come to, because they can't stay long when I believe you are the way, yes, you are the truth, the light. I believe yes, you are the way, oh, the way, the truth, the light. I believe you are. It's a new horizon, and I'm set on you, and you meet me here today. Mercies that I knew, oh, all those fears and doubts, they can all come to, because they can't stay long when I believe that you are the way, yes, you are the truth, the light. Yes, I believe that you are the way, the truth, the light. I believe you are. Welcome to church, everybody. So good to see you.
It all starts with a flame, a flicker. Where two or three are gathered to believe in something bigger than themselves. Then it spreads. Slowly, it grows, changing everything in its path, transforming timidity to boldness, weakness to strength, combining with other flames to create an impact much larger than it ever could alone. Moving, living, growing, refining. The faith of 2 or 3 souls multiplying tenfold. replenished from a fuel source that never runs dry. The flames spread and grow, changing everything about who we are. And when the smoke clears, nothing is ever left the same.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is so good to be with y'all here this morning. My name is Ted. I'm one of the pastors here on staff at Encounter Church. And if you are a guest with us, maybe this is your first Sunday or second Sunday, it is so good to have you here with us this morning. You picked a wonderful Sunday to come and check us out, as this is our Missions Sunday, which we'll be talking about a little bit more in a few minutes. But it is so good to have you here. I wanted to let you know of a few things. Following our service this morning, if you head out through these double doors and turn to the right, you'll see our Welcome Center. Some very friendly people would love to greet you. If you have any questions about the church, they would love to answer those questions. And you can pick up one of our Connect cards there that looks like this. This is our way of staying connected with you. If you have comments, if you have prayer requests, if you would like to get on our weekly email, finding out about upcoming series and events, this is our way to do that. So I would encourage you to fill it out with as much information as you feel comfortable providing, and then you can drop it in our offering drop boxes, which are in the back. And for those of you who prefer using your phones, you can do all of this on our church app. Please download that, because that is another great resource for that. So before we transition into the rest of our service, I would encourage you to turn your attention to the screen for some quick announcements.
Hey church family, I am so excited to be back with you this Sunday, giving you some of the updates and announcements that are happening in the life of our church. Sunday, August 28th, we're going to be having our outdoor baptism service at 10 a.m. outside on the church lawn. So our service is at 10. Bring a lawn chair or a blanket to sit on and just come on out for this awesome service. Right after the service, we're going to be having our all-church cookout. Now, we're going to be providing the hot dogs, but we ask that you bring a side dish, a dessert, a drink, something to share with everybody, and there will be sign-up sheets that you can sign up in the lobby as soon as you exit the service. Now, if you're at home watching with us, you can email the church office. If you want to sign up to be baptized on Sunday morning, or if you want to help volunteer for some of the setup needs that we have, or to bring something to the cookout, stop by the table in the lobby today. So this past semester, one of the growth groups got together and they came up with the idea of having an all church-wide yard sale. Well, any profits that are made are going to go back to benefit the church in two different ways. One way is going to benefit all the youth areas with Impact Youth and the general church fund. So if you have any trash, which is another man's treasure, make sure that you sign up at the table in the lobby to be a part of the all-church yard sale Saturday, September 10th from 8 to 12 p.m. One of the important ministries that we have here at our church is our one-to-one care ministry. Well, today we want to let you know that we have some of the volunteers of that ministry. If you have any questions, you want to know more about the ministry, or simply want to talk to someone with a friendly face, stop by the table today. And last but not least, if you are interested in serving with youth, whether it's junior high, senior high, or if you're a young adult and want to get involved, make sure you stop by one of the tables in the lobby today to talk with one of the youth leaders or Pastor Journey about how you can get involved today. And as always, you can check out our app, Facebook page, our website for all the events and things that are going on in the life of our church. All right, back to you, Pastor Ted.
And there are a lot of things going on in the life of our church. Would you please just join me in a prayer as we transition into the rest of our service this morning? Father God, we are so thankful to be here this morning, the opportunity to come and worship together. Lord, I pray that you would be glorified. I pray that the words of our mouth would be reflective of who you are. Father, we are so thankful for our many blessings. And in the powerful name of Jesus, we pray all these things. Amen.
You're beautiful. Your face is all I seek. And when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds to me. Let's sing that again. Oh Lord, you're beautiful. Your face fire.
Oh Lord, please light the fire that once burned bright and clear. Replace the lamp of my first love that burns with holy fear. Oh
Lift your voice, church.
Lord, you're beautiful. Your face is all I see, and when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds to me.
When your eyes, sing that again with us.
And when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds to me. And I love you, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. May it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ears.
Sweet sound.
May it be a sweet, sweet sound in your
Before the foundations of the earth were laid, the Lord chose the time you would be born. You have come for his kingdom for such a time as this. He has made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings, so that they should seek the Lord in the hope that they might grope for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. You are as the sons of Issachar. You are able to discern the times and to know what to do. Jesus has endued you with power from above, and he has said, "All authority has been given to me in heaven and earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Do not worry about how or what you should speak, for it will be given to you in that hour what you should speak, for it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of the Father who speaks in you. You have been given the spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind. You are a chosen people, a chosen generation. You have been sent to preach good tidings to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound, and to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God. The Spirit says, Ephphatha, be opened. Your ears are opened and your tongue is released. So now wake up, awaken, let your faith arise, rise up from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. For behold, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples. But the Lord will rise upon you, for his glory will appear over you. The earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Great shall be the harvest, So full will be our nets that they will be tearing. Churches shall join together, as Peter signaled for his partners. Boats so full that they began to be weighted down with the fishes. Glorify thy name in all the earth, Lord. In all the earth, Lord.
Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Oh, yes, Jesus, we love you, and we worship and adore. Glorify, come on, church, lift your voice. Glorify thy name in all the earth. We shall glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Glorify
Spirit be with us this morning. Ephphatha, the touch us, O Lord. Help us not to put you into a box, because you're a mighty God. You're a God that has been reaching out to man since the beginning of time. Before Christ walked on this earth, you reached out to your chosen people, and they turned from you. Because we're sinful. But God, you didn't give up on us. You came back and you walked on this earth and you bore the burdens that we did. And you were ashamed. They tried to shame you. They tried to tear you down. But God, you defied evil and you rose victoriously. And you gathered those disciples around you to learn who you are and the love that you have and all that you care about. And then you brought Paul, you brought Timothy, and they traveled around the earth at that time by boat to proclaim who Jesus Christ is. And Father, that's the calling that each of us have in our local communities, in our neighborhoods. We may travel far, we may stay home, but God, you have touched us. So help us not to put you into this box that you are the God that is of convenience. You're there only when we need you. And our worries are so big that we can't focus on anything else you have for us. But God, you've walked the lame, you've healed the blind men, you've raised those from the dead. You can do incredible things, God, and help us to focus on what you have for us to do in our lives. Father, bless those that are going to share this morning, both young and old, about all the things that you're doing in their lives, because those are your things. Because we are just average people. We are nothing special. We are sinners that are given grace by our commitment to serve you and accept you as Lord and Savior. So, Father, I pray for each person whose ears are hearing this morning, that they will open up and they will receive in the touch that you have of the news that's being shared. But God, we know around this world there are those being persecuted far and by near. But God, you want us to rise up and to care for those people, because you want to care for them. So God, let us just rejoice and rest in your peace and listen to what you have to say to us. And we praise you for this. Amen.
Amen to that. You may be seated, church. Absolutely beautiful worship.
It is so good to be with y'all here this morning on Missions Sunday. So that video that we just saw there, that was a video that was shown at the Brethren in Christ General Assembly that Pastor Journey and myself were at just a few weeks ago in Salina, Kansas. And when I saw that video, I just thought to myself, my goodness, what an amazing testimony to God's faithfulness. You know, in 1894, the first offering for world missions was given, $5. Now, that was a lot more money back in 1894 than it is today, but still, God used that first gift to then lead to the first missionary sent overseas, which, as you saw in that video, the church across the world and world missions has septupled since then. It is just truly amazing to see what God has done, the multiplication of believers, and it is just truly unbelievable, and we give God all the praise for that. Now, the reason, as you are aware of now, that we showed that video is because today is Mission Sunday. And we do this about 4 times a year here at Encounter Church, and each Mission Sunday looks slightly different than the previous one or than the next one. And today, what we want to try to convey is the just smorgasbord, I'll say. Just there's so many different things that Encounter Church is involved in regarding missions, but we don't get the opportunity to really share all of this information very often. And so today is just going to give you just a broad spectrum view of everything that we are involved in regarding missions, or at least most of them, because there's a lot of them. And so there's a lot of information that you'll hear this morning. Don't feel like you need to remember it all, but I hope that it encourages you that this is a church that truly does care about and prioritize missions in a very, very profound way. I mean, both locally in our community, regionally, nationally, and internationally, we are involved in so many different ways. And so throughout this service, I'm going to give you just a little overview here personally, and then we're going to invite some of our missions teams that went out on missions this past summer to hear from them and some of their experiences. And then we're going to wrap up our service with one of our missions families who is actually here with us today in the States. Now, I need to just say this up front, and this is primarily for our online community, for those who are joining us via our live stream. Due to the sensitive nature of the environment in which this missions family serves, we've been asked that we don't live stream this because it could jeopardize the relationships that they have in their community. And so we have agreed, because obviously it's a very important relationship that we have, and we want to do everything that we can to support them in their missions work. So for those of you who are joining us online, just know when we get to that section of our service, we will pause our live stream and then we will resume the live stream once that section is completed. So before we bring any of our missions teams up on stage, I want to first begin with an update about what has been going on with the Christmas offering that we took this past December. So for those of you who have been around for a while, you know that every year we take a Christmas offering. It's a special offering above and beyond our regular tithes and donations that goes to support numerous things. And so for this past year, we said this is going to go to the Compassion Ministry, and this is also going to go to our missions partners around the world. So we, out of our regular annual budget, support numerous organizations and numerous families all around the world. Like I said, locally, nationally, internationally. But on top of that, these different missions people are doing special projects. And so we decided that we would give above and beyond what we agreed to give out of our compassion offering to help them in their special projects around the world. And so just to let you know what has actually been practically happening, out of that Christmas offering, we have given $15,000 to various places. And here's some of the things that this has gone to do. It has gone to support the construction of a new storefront church in Spain. This has also gone to support numerous students to attend seminary and be trained for ministry in Pakistan. It has also gone to support people who have been incarcerated and who are getting out of jail and are kind of re-entering into society to help them do that effectively. We've also helped purchase furniture for a local nonprofit that has been using the same furniture for the past 40 years. And we've also provided pull-ups and diapers and other essential needs for parents, and we've assisted with car repairs and technology needs of a missionary couple in Guatemala. Now, that is just where that $15,000 went. But in addition to that, we have held numerous other special drives. You'll remember Angel Tree. You'll remember Operation Christmas Child, the Palmyra Area School District tags, even the Baby Bottle Boomerang to go and support Align Life Ministries in their work to the community. And this is just, I've said this numerous times, but I am so thankful to be a part of a church that is so generous in giving to these things. And there's one last thing that I want to let you know, because I said the Christmas offering was for missions, but also compassion. And this is an ongoing thing. But out of the remainder of that Christmas offering, what we've been able to do is when people reach out to the church and they say, hey, I have nowhere to go. I don't have a place to stay tonight, to sleep tonight. I'm going to be evicted. We meet with those people. We talk with those people. We hear their stories. We encourage them, and we've been able to support them in emergency shelter, clothing needs, housing needs, utility needs, medical needs, counseling needs, rent help, whatever it might be. We have helped dozens of families this year who have come to us with those needs, and it also gives us an opportunity to share the gospel with these people. And I tell you this not to, puff ourselves up, but because we said this is what we were going to do when we took this offering, and it is appropriate to let y'all know who have been the reason we've been able to do this, that this is what has happened with this offering. And I am so thankful to be a part of a church as we bring Jesus' love to life in these ways. And I think that's worth a round of applause, because it is just truly amazing. And you'll have to take my word on this, because I've been intimately involved in so many of these details, and it is truly amazing to see what God is doing. And so now what we're going to do is transition into the part of our series where we're going to invite some of our missions teams up. And so if you're the representative from the Niagara Falls trip that went out this summer, I would encourage you to come on stage here with me. And this is a trip that went out with a company called Youth Works. This is a picture here. Oh, I totally forgot one aspect of this. I'm sorry. You guys can still come on stage. Go back to that last picture there. Because this week, actually, we sent out a third team to Kenbrook. And this was a team that was comprised of 21 students, mostly junior high, some senior high, and 4 leaders. And they used Kenbrook Bible Camp as kind of their launching off place to go into numerous service opportunities with Jubilee Ministries and with Lebanon County Christian Ministries. And I think there was another one as well. Align Life Ministries, just a really great opportunity to serve in this community, but also to share the gospel with those that they were serving. And it's just truly amazing how even some of our youngest believers in this church can use opportunities like this to make an impact in the community and in this world for spreading the news of Jesus. And they just got home. We weren't actually sure if they were going to be here for our second service, but shout out to the Kenbrook crew back there on the bleachers.
Yeah.
So good. So good to have you guys back here this Sunday. Now,
Don't they look so awake?
Yeah. And so for this crew, went to Niagara Falls this past summer. And I would love to give them just an opportunity to talk a little bit about their experience. So, Journey, for you first, we've done numerous trips with YouthWorks in the past. But tell us why Niagara Falls? What was kind of the point and purpose of this trip specifically?
Well, I wanted to see the falls, Ted. No, YouthWorks, first of all, YouthWorks, the organization, the reason we chose an organization like that is because it's important to our church, and it's important to me that we're not just going somewhere for a week, spending some time there, and then kind of leaving and leaving a little bit of a mess. And so YouthWorks has continued relationships with all the mission partners that we served with all the people. Matter of fact, some of the team started painting this lady's fence fence, and it rained the second day, and so we didn't get all the way done, but they assured me that it would get finished the next week. So if we were just going to Niagara Falls on our own, that fence would have been half painted, and that was kind of one of the reasons. But the other reason why Niagara Falls, first of all, it was under like a 10-hour drive. That was important to me, Ted. Very, very important. But the other reason is the emphasis that was placed upon serving those in poverty. I don't know if you've ever been to Niagara Falls, but if you go there, the Canadian side is very, very nice. The American side, not so much. And what stuck out to me is the way that those people love their community, are passionate about their community, and a lot of them chose to stay, could have left, but chose to stay and are working on doing things to make their community a better place. But we were able to experience a poverty simulation, which was one of the things that I looked forward to the most. So there was, we were in a room, and the kids kind of got into these made-up families and had different roles they were supposed to play. And then there were local service organizations. Like I think I was the shelter. I was supposed to play the shelter role. And so there was a bunch of different organizations that they could go to for different situations. And so they got to see, how difficult it could be if you found yourself in that kind of stage of life or that place in life, and how difficult it could be to get out. And that was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go there. And I'll let these guys talk some more, because...
And one thing about that, in the first service, they mentioned the percentage of poverty in that area. Do you remember what the percentage was? I think Tricia said something around the...
It was very close to 70. I think it was 69% were on some sort of government program or were below the poverty line of their population. So it was elderly and families and young people as well. So it was all across the spectrum.
Right. And so an opportunity to go into that community week after week, group after group, to really support and encourage and help population with that level of poverty was a big focus, and why Niagara. That's awesome. Well, we'll give the mic to you guys. Could you just introduce yourself? What's your name?
I'm Sadie.
Sadie. And
I'm Charlie.
Charlie. Well, Sadie, we'll go with you first here. So just a basic kind of question, but what was one of the most impactful things of this trip to you personally?
So we had like a community picnic on the third or fourth night there, and there was a man named another Charlie, and it was cool to just talk to him and like share things that we had in common, like playing video games and listening to music.
Right.
And yeah.
Just an opportunity to interact with someone and hear their story, and it's amazing how those relationships can lead to really impactful memories. I mean, even for you, that's like the thing. And so is there any way that you feel that you have changed as a result of this trip?
Well, going there's a lot of people that are proud of where they come from and like what they have, and it's just like seeing that here. Like people don't really like come up and start conversations like they do there. So if like I could go up to someone that I see and start a conversation with them.
So come back with just some perspective on how things are different in different places and how they are here. Awesome. Yeah. Well, Charlie, I'll give you the chance to answer the same question. What was one of the things that was most impactful for you during this experience?
Probably the most impactful thing actually happened before we even got to the falls, and it influenced the whole time when we were at the falls. It's probably when Journey hit the deer, not because it was actually impactful to the van, but because...
it was that, to be sure.
Yeah, like...
Everyone was okay, just that was
mostly.
Important to know.
But actually because after he hit the deer and he was out trying to, fix the bumper, everyone inside the van, like beforehand, none of us were really talking to each other. But after, we really started to bond and talk, and that would influence how the rest of the week went. We all grew closer. We had better relationships, and by the end of it, we all are like more friends than we were before.
Yeah. And that's significant. That's not something to be sneered at. And so, how do you feel that you're different as a result of this trip then as well?
I definitely know more about poverty and people who are in worse conditions. Like beforehand, I obviously knew about it, but I really didn't think it would happen here. I thought it was more in third world countries, if anything, but I didn't really think of it being here. And seeing the people who were going through problems, it was just disheartening, but also seeing them overcome these problems was just so encouraging that even if you're in the worst position that you could be in, you can still get up, you can still keep going, and it makes me want to help others more, so not just that they will go through it, but that the younger ones that are going through it, we can help them get out of it.
Amen. That's awesome. Guys, thank you so much for sharing. Give them a hand. Yes, I'll go back. And so one more trip that went out this summer is our Champions in Action trip. And so if you're a representative from that trip, if you could join me on stage as well here this morning. But this is a trip in a group that have gone to Guatemala for many, many years now. And I would love to give them just a chance to talk about why we've chosen to partner with Champions in Action for so long, but then also to hear some of like the personal testimonies around, what was actually experienced this trip. So Adam, I'll give you the mic here first. So could you just give us a little bit of update? Now, you've been on this trip specifically how many years now?
8.
So 8 years now you've been heading over to Guatemala. Why? What is it about this organization and this location that has kept you so involved for so many years now?
So Champions in Action is in Guatemala, and they're connecting at-risk youth in red zones, which are like drugs, gangs, alcohol, poverty. Like, they're taking the red zone areas of the red zones, and they're connecting these kids to mentors who live in their neighborhoods. So they know these kids. They live there. And it's a 6-year program where they get them when they're 12 until they're 18. And then, so they're with them through whatever happens. So we come into it as Americans coming over to run a once-in-a-lifetime camp. So during that 6-year period, they go to camp one time, and camp is soccer. They're playing in league, so they know their teams already, but they get to compete in like another tournament, get drills, meet volunteers who like are just there to like love on them and talk to them about Jesus. And then when camp is done, we go home, and it's fine. There's no void. We didn't have paint a room and then leave, and then they have to wait for another. Like, camp is over and done, and we get to do all of it right then.
Yeah, so the whole goal is to, the part of the price, like the financial price of going is to help bring these kids from Guatemala City to this camp. It actually supports them, correct?
Yeah, so we take like 50 volunteers, and we take 100 kids, and each volunteer is basically paying for 2 kids to go. So there's no cost to the kids. They just get to go eat 3 meals a day, which they probably aren't doing anyways, and have this great experience.
And then they get connected with these mentors in the program. And this is all run by the organization in Guatemala. And so when we go, we're just volunteering there, literally just come alongside and learn and help and support.
Yep, drills, cheerleading, just relational during, like, to support the mentors. Because they're the ones doing the hard work. They got to get into the mud, over a long period of time.
Right, and then the one thing I found really interesting was that the goal is then for these kids that have gone through this program, they then have the opportunity to become mentors themselves for future generations. Is that correct?
Yeah, if they feel so led and have been impacted, like, it's to keep them out of the gangs and to keep them, the main goal of Champions is to impact Guatemala as a whole, and you can only do that by raising up strong Christians who then will support the next generation and so on and so forth.
Right. Awesome. It's such a fantastic ministry. So Ryan, I'm going to have you go first. Sorry, I'll allow you to introduce yourself.
I'm Ryan.
Yes, okay. So Ryan, this is your second time going on this trip to Guatemala, but your 2 trips were very different. I would love to hear what was it about your first trip that really kind of motivated you to want to go back again this second year? Just talk about that a little bit.
So my first trip was last year, and there was still a lot of COVID restrictions, so we weren't allowed to actually host the camp. So we did what Champions in Action called Red Zone Outreach. So we hosted soccer drills in their neighborhoods, so in their red zones, and we also provided bag lunches. It wasn't as fun for the kids they didn't get to go to camp, they didn't get to go to the coast, they stayed in their neighborhoods, but I thought it was very beneficial to me. It was very eye-opening to see the conditions in their neighborhoods that they lived in. So it was very beneficial to me, and I got to experience all of that, and now when I went back this year, I had a better understanding of where they came from, and I also felt like I bonded with them more because last year, it was a half-day program, and camp is you're with them all day, every day, and I really connected with them more.
Yeah, so great opportunity to, again, build that relationship and that trust and that connection and reflect Jesus to these girls. For those of you who didn't know, this was specifically a girls' camp. They have a guys' camp as well, but the one that they went to was specifically for girls. Awesome. I'll allow you to hand your mic over there to your brother. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I won't steal your thunder.
I'm Lucas.
Lucas, yes. So Lucas, this was your first time going to Guatemala with Champions in Action. Now, whenever we do any kind of missions trip, the hope and desire is to love and to serve and to encourage and bring Jesus' love to life wherever it is that we are going. But I would be very curious to know, because in light of the fact that you and another member of the team that went this year made the decision to be baptized while there, I would really be curious to know how this trip impacted your life and your relationship with Jesus in such a profound way that you wanted to make that public declaration of your faith. If you could just talk about that a little bit, great.
I signed up to go to Guatemala so that I could experience another culture, share God's love with them, and experience it all with my friends and some of my family. As I got to know the girls on my team, I realized that their lives and what they have gone through was worse than I imagined. It made me feel that if they were strong enough to step out in their faith, in their living conditions, then there should be nothing stopping me from getting baptized and showing others that I went to follow Jesus. My friend Andy also decided to get baptized while in Guatemala, and it was important to me to share that experience with him. Over the years, my hesitation with getting baptized was that I didn't want to get up and talk in front of the church. But here I am talking in front of the whole church.
It's so good to have you guys up here. Thank you so much for your willingness to share. I'll take that. Yes. Go ahead, guys. It is just truly amazing to see what God is doing, again, through these various mission organizations and trips, and it's good to take time to talk about this morning. And so now we came to the time of our series where I'm going to request that our live stream is paused.
As the deer panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. You alone
So like I said, there's a bunch of information that was thrown out there this morning. And if maybe you heard something and it lit a fire in you, something that you said, man, I would love to be involved in this in some way, shape, or form, but I'm not sure how. I have some good news for you. There's lots of ways to get involved. Probably the easiest way, if you are interested in serving at one of our local partnerships, or maybe you're interested in being on the missions team here at Encounter. Yes, we have a missions team here at Encounter. Please email the office and we will be glad to get in touch with you on that. And then the Champions in Action trip, we're planning to go back again next year, so pay attention to that or check out their website or the Facebook page. You can find lots of information out about them as well. And another opportunity here, I'm going to hand over to my good friend Steve, who just tells you about something coming up in the life of the church as well.
Great. Thanks, Ted. Like Ted said, I love these Mission Sundays just to learn more about what's going on, just a tiny sliver of what's happening both locally and globally through missions, what God's doing and how we can partner with that. One of our missions partners that I share a deep heart for is a group called the Passion Center for Children, located in Malawi, Africa. We actually were all set 2 years ago to have a team from our church that was going to be going there, and then international travel, of course, it became super disrupted. That trip got pushed off and eventually canceled. But the work of the Passion Center has gone on. They've actually been able to grow and expand all their ministries over these past several years. And we're very excited next month to be welcoming in Pilar Chibwana, who's the national director for the Passion Center, the entire way from Malawi to visit with us here. Unfortunately, the timing of his trip doesn't allow him to be here on a Sunday morning with everyone, but everyone is invited to come to the Listen and Learn event that we're having on Monday, September 19th at 7 p.m. here at the church. Again, he's coming the whole way from Malawi, so that's 8,000 miles, 24 plus hours of travel. So we would love to pack this place out to give him a great welcome. And I'm told that there's going to be desserts. So if nothing else, come for dessert and learn more about the Passion Center. And I'm finally able, now that travel has resumed to Malawi, to start to work on hopefully getting another team together, aiming for a trip this coming March. So March of 2023, about 2 weeks. My focus would be on the medical side of things, but if anyone is interested, whether it's medical or education or just general missions work, please come talk to me after the service. I'll have a table out front and some save the dates for that mission, for the Listen and Learn event as well. So come to the Listen and Learn, whether you're interested in the trip or not, and talk to me if you want to go on a trip.
Thank you, Steve. And as always, following the service this morning, our prayer banners over here. If God has placed something on your heart that you would like some prayer for, please feel free to go over there and receive some prayer this morning. And as always, if you came prepared to give tithes and offerings, this is just an insight into where those go. But thank you so much for your faithfulness in giving back to God. We are only able to continue to do our work here at the church and at large through your faithfulness in giving back to God out of what He has given to you. And so our offering drop boxes are in the back, and thank you to those who give online as well. And the last thing, the Spirik family, I'm going to get their names wrong if I don't read it. Dave, Kim, and Caitlin, who we had been collecting food to bless them and stock their kitchen, they were here. I think they're still here. And so if you would have interest in meeting them or talking to them, they've been missionaries in Ukraine for a long time. They'll be out in the lobby as well. Check out all of our tables. I pray that you all have a fantastic week. Go in the Lord, and we'll see you back next Sunday. God bless.